and welcome to ESRL Sprints for the third week of 6 in this third season. Just waiting for everyone to join the lobby and then we will go. Hello, just waiting for everyone to get in. Hello, Lifebell. Look tier 1 chat. Let's see. Looks like we're about to get going, so I'll be quick. Where invites? Race ended half an hour ago. Where invites? Oh god. Good evening, Marcus. Good evening. Good evening to everyone else watching. Looks like we're readying up and getting ready to go. But, the championship leader is in the chat, as is his championship challenger, Lifebout. Just 2 points between them as we head into round 3. A double of Imola and Singapore. Now Lifebout's very good at Singapore, but with elite assists it could be a different story. We will see, because he usually drives with line. But I know he's very good at Singapore, so we shall see. But it's first we're heading to Emilia-Romagna for the Imola Grand Prix. Some place that we haven't been able to go to. Lifebout's left the session. That's not a good start for him. Hopefully he can get back in. And Ace is also. That's not a good start for him either. That's 2. Yeah, a place that we weren't able to go to this weekend for real F1 due to the severe flooding in the area, and very, very unfortunate, and obviously some people lost their lives, so the racing much less important than anything like that. So. But it is a shame for us to miss the Imola Grand Prix in real life, so we're heading there today instead for the ESRL Sprint Championships. Lifebout can't load setup, which is very unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. Lifebout, are you in a party? You should get in a party with someone who's offline. Because that's what stops my game from crashing. Although you're on PS5, aren't you? So it might be something completely different. But yeah, my game never crashes if I'm in a party. But if I'm not in a party, it will crash almost every time. So, fair enough. Just F122 things then. I'm sure you'll be fine still. But yeah, an uphill battle for you, unfortunately. Rain halfway, possibly. That's good to know. It does look very cloudy. But we're off for the formation lap. Let's get everything enabled. See tyres. Right, so most starting on the softs, including our 2 championship protagonists. Robinet as well. He's only 10 points down in the Drivers' Championship, so keep an eye on him. If he gets some luck, he could well be straight in the title fight. Yeah, all 3 of them on the softs. Just the Toe, Tier, Jackalacco and Trugster on the mediums. So they'll be doing the alternate strategy and going to the softs for the second stint, hoping for no early safety car, because that would ruin everything for them. I believe the safety car is set off for Singapore, but it's on here, so is a risk that they'll have to keep in mind. Rumac's back in as well. Well, Rumac's in for the first time, but just too late, sadly, for him. We've also got a newbie today in the McLaren. It's Zetchik, I believe. Zetchik. I'm sure he'll tell me if I'm pronouncing that horrifically wrong, but I believe... I think he's Polish, so Zetchik would be my guess, as he goes on the grass a bit. Hopefully he doesn't repeat that in the actual race, but wishing him luck. Always good to see newbies on the grid. Scott will lead us off though for the formation lap, and he will be first to get into his grid slot on pole position, due to being last place in the championship. It sounds great, pole position, until you get to that little caveat in the reverse grid sprint championship, and he's been disqualified for being out of his box as well, so not the greatest start to proceedings for Scott, unfortunately. And we have a horrific camera angle, which is slightly annoying, but we're going to get underway. Here we go. A lot of people going over their grid box. Here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway for the Imola Grand Prix. It's a good start from the Toe. Tier there as well. Poor start for Scott. He's going to get swamped into turn 1 as the Toe gets into the lead. Everyone piles through. No incidents at turn 1, please, guys. As the Toe through turn 1. Someone's on the gravel. 2 people on the gravel. I think Jackalacco was one of them. Tier, I think, was another one as they rejoin, but no major crashes as the Toe leads on the medium tyres from Scott, and Spaled wrong up to P3 as well. well. Moti Peretz there in P4 as Ace versus Kings there. What about our championship protagonist? Lifebout up to P9. Robinet fighting with Trugster for P11. Short Marcus all the way down to P14, and we've got a virtual safety car for something, I do not know what, but Short Marcus has no front wing on the Red Bull. Disastrous start for the championship leader and defending champion in the sprints. He's going to have to get that repaired, but luckily he started on the softs, so he can do a medium stint to the end. But not how he would have wanted to get started, and Lifebout with no setup is P9. Failed and Scott swapping places, that could cause game issues. I think it's fine though as we come through. It's Aces gets the jump on Moti Peretz on the VSC restart. Moti breaks very late, nearly into the back as Failed Wrong just about avoids him, and Aces up to P4. Slithery Cow finding his way through as well, slithers past Moti Peretz, who's having a nightmare through turn 1. He's lost 5 positions in one corner as Lifebout still P9. DTS Ayrton, Short Marcus into the pits of course to repair front wing as Aces and Slithery Cow go side by side through turns 1 and 2 and 3. Aces still on the inside. Slithery Cow tries to get the better speed and go all the way around the outside, but Aces down the inside again, and Tamburello, but Slithery Cow is ahead. Brilliant racing between the two. Wolfman and Tier side by side through the hairpin as well. This is fantastic racing here in Imola. Moti Peretz right behind but not able to make a move in tricky left-hander, or is he? He had a look. Realistically that was never going to happen, and he's opened the door for Lifebout. It's been a disastrous restart lap for Moti Peretz, but Lifebout up to P8, his championship rival down in P16 with no front wing, and Lifebout up to P7 now after a mistake from Wolfman. Lifebout is flying with no setup on the car. Incredible stuff from the Dutchman. Short Marcus, he is going to have to put in qualifying laps on those medium tyres to get anything good from this race. Yellow flags in sector 3, that's the toe. He spun from the lead at the last corner, and that's really unfortunate for the Red Bull driver. He's going to have to get going again, but he's going to lose a huge amount of positions. Could go all the way to the back here in that Red Bull as Trugster finds his way past. I think Robinet's going to get there as well. Yes, he does. Robinet up to P11. Is he? Nearly. He's round the outside. Someone nearly went off there. Tier and Lifebout swap positions as well. Lifebout up to P5 already with no setup. This is an incredible performance so far from Lifebout. The toe P11 as well, getting back past Robinet as Wolfman and Tier side by side yet again into the hairpin, and that's Lifebout. He's spun. Oh no, the commentator's coincidence has struck. Lifebout's round. The toe is round as well, just behind him, but Lifebout down to P14 after an incredible start to this race, and Short Marcus will be rubbing his hands in glee as his rival makes another mistake. Robinet now in P10, he's looking good as Scott, and he's binned it as well at the chicane. He's down to P3. I don't think he'll lose position to his teammate. Yes, he will actually. Aces breezes through up towards the penultimate corner. He's up to P3. Spelled Wrong now leads the race, and Spelled Wrong could easily have been in this championship fight if he didn't have to miss last week. Really unfortunate for him, and he finds himself in the lead of the Imola Grand Prix. What a start for him today. By 2.5 seconds from Slithery Cow, and these two fought tooth and nail for the Tier 2 championship just a few weeks ago as Wolfman all the way around the outside of Tier and across the yellow sausage curbs, and he's down to P7, could be P8. DTS Ayrton tries to find a way through as well in the Alpine. Can he go around the outside? No, he can't. He's not going to try that at Villeneuve. That's a very bad decision. And now Trugster's looking to get through as well on those medium tyres. We've got another yellow flag. That's Lifebout again. He's spun round once again. That lack of setup really costing him. And Robinet spun as well. All three of the top 3 in the championship having an absolutely disastrous race here in Imola. Oh my goodness me, the top 3 in the championship are 13th, 14th and 16th right now. What a disaster for all 3 of them. But Short Marcus, I think, has the best chance of getting himself back in this. He's already stopped. He's got to get those mediums all the way to the end, of course, but he's already stopped and lost 5 seconds from the front wing, but he's had a clear track, and we know how fast Short Marcus is when on form, so He could easily find his way all the way back up into the top positions, but it's raining. Oh, it's raining. It is starting to rain, and that's going to ruin Short Marcus's chance of getting back up. I completely forgot there might be rain as the two Mercedes swap places again, and Moti Peretz gets past Tia as well on the way to turn 1. Robinett and Lifebout swap positions. Lifebout spun again in the Alfa Romeo. Zetchik's left the session. That's unfortunate for the newbie. Hopefully he can get back in, but it is now starting to rain. You can see the raindrops on the screen there. And when is it going to be time for intermediates? That's the question. Well, Lifebout, Robinett and Short Marcus all the way at the back, so they've got no chance to catch back up even through the wet weather. Well, thanks to the wet weather. As all three of them are going to have to stop again for the Inters, I would have thought. Tia going very deep. There, and that could invite Wolfman. No, it's not going to invite Wolfman, because Wolfman is round, unfortunately, on the exit, and he goes all the way down to P12. RS gets a 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. He must have outbraked himself at the chicane in the Aston Martin, and he's on the grass there as well. RS really struggling. I think he's got some wing damage on that Aston Martin, but it doesn't look like it visually. But he is into the pits. I wonder if it's going to be intermediates. I think there's going to be a wing change inbound for the Aston Martin. Doesn't look like there's any visual damage, but probably on his screen he's got a slight nick, and that's really costing him time. So in he comes. Is it a wing change? It's not a wing change. No, it is a wing change. Yep, it is. And DRS disabled, so it is now wet weather into the intermediate range. Short Marcus staying out. Wolfman in, though, for the Inters. We've got yellow flags in Sector 1. That's DTS Ayrton is round in these tricky conditions in the Alpine. Don't get disqualified for driving backwards, please, DTS Ayrton. I think he's fine. But all of the top 4 in the championship have all spun at some point in this race or broken their front wing somehow. It's been an absolute calamity for the lead drivers in the title race, which is incredible, and it could invite more people into the title race as well. Trugster and Tia going side by side in these tricky conditions. That's never going to end well on the outside there. Tia has to go, carve out his own racing line to get through the corners. Robinett and Zetchik side by side as well, but of course Zetchik not in the session currently, so Robinett free position for him up to P8 as Jack Alacco just completely cuts the chicane just behind. These tricky conditions really testing our drivers here. Moti into the pits, Aces into the pits for Inters. Who else will file into the pits? Zetchik is back in the session. Robinett into the pits as Jacko comes in as well. All of the top 5 staying out, though. I think everyone else is going to be in. Lifebout nearly hits the wall on his way in. The toe stays out. He stays out. I think that is well, that's an interesting decision. DRS has already been disabled, but he stayed out. Same with the top 5. I'm not quite sure why they've stayed out. Short Marcus in as well for the Inters. There we go. Those green sidewall tyres on the car, and these drivers all staying out could really give a lot of positions and time to those who've gone on to the Inters. As these 5 are really going to struggle, I think. Trugster's 15 seconds behind Slithery Cow, which is absolutely crazy. None of them are pitted yet. Tia very wide, Spaled Wrong, and Slithery Cow is surely Spaled Wrong is going to be in now into the pits. Coming from the final corner, and I think we'll see that Alpine peel in, not before having a bit of a moment, but yes, he's in. Slithery Cow in as well. I think we'll see all of these top 5 in, as well as the toe, as Aces go around the outside of Scott, who's, he's spun and broken his front wing, has Scott on those soft tyres. Very unsurprising, to be honest, and round he goes. Aces getting past. Moti Peretz is there as well on the Inters. The toe also struggling on those mediums. Trugster now leads the race. He stayed out again on the medium tyres, as has Tia. What on earth are they doing? They obviously think it's not quite time for Inters yet, but I beg to differ, looking at everyone spinning and having trouble on those slicks. Scott's into the pits, obviously with broken front wing. The toe surely in as well. Yes, he is. The Red Bull peels in. So These top two are going to be in big trouble. They're going to lose so much time. Tyr onto the gravel. Trugster, they're both really struggling to get through here, and Spaled Wrong is carving down that time. Slithery Cow just 2 seconds behind as well, so they've just come out ahead of those who pitted the lap earlier. So maybe it wasn't too bad after all to stay out, but I think staying out now has got to be a wrong decision from Trugster and Tyr. Scott and the Toe emerge on the inters. So Short Marcus up to P11, Lifebout up to P10, Robin up to P8. So they're slowly making up positions as Zetcheek has a bit of a moment, and Lifebout up to P9 now, but he does have a 3-second time penalty as Tyr loses position to Spaled Wrong now, and Tyr going completely across the chicane and losing position to Slithery Cow as well. Those mediums are not in their element at the moment on track. Trugster just crawling through those last two corners. You can see how much Spale gains, and Trugster's round as well. Just one too many laps, if not too many laps on those slicks, and they're both going to have to come in, and they're going to drop all the way down the grid, the two of them. Poor decisions from both. Has Trugster stayed out? Oh my god, Trugster has stayed out again. This is incredible. Is it gonna, do they think it's gonna dry up again? That must be what he's thinking, what he's banking on. But I mean, surely it's too late now. Look at this, he's absolutely fighting that car through every corner, and look how much Aces gains through here. It's right on board with him. Look at that, Aces just breezes past the Williams, and Trugster, if he stays out any longer, I mean, he's obviously hoping for it to dry up again, but if he stays out longer, he is going to be swamped here by everyone on the inters. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. He's just, I don't understand why he stayed out. It's just, he's tried to take the risk, I suppose, but it's not going to work out, I don't think, for the Williams driver. I mean, I hope I eat my words. It's good to see Trugster doing well, but I think that's a wrong decision from the Williams driver as Moti Peretz approaches for P4. RS goes very wide as Robinet now under pressure from Lifebout, two of the top three in the title race. Short Marcus there in P10 as well. He's challenging Zetcheek for P9 as we get a nice camera angle of the wall. And Zetcheek very deep, and Short Marcus is through very easily up to P9. So the top three in the championship, 7th, 8th and 9th now, but in the wrong order. They're the opposite way round to how they are in the point standings. Is Trugster staying out again? Round the final corner he comes. He's committed. He is committed to this risk. It does look like it's brightening up the sky, but I mean, wow. I mean, if this pays off, then fair enough to Trugster. I mean, where did he start? He started in P10, so he would have gained a few positions from doing this if it does work. But I mean, look at Robinet now. Here he comes, and he's gonna easily get past the Williams, who has to get out of the way. Lifebout must have had a bit of a mistake though, because he's dropped off Robinet, and past Trugster he goes as well, as the latter goes into the gravel. Here comes Short Marcus as well, who's had to brake early to avoid the Williams driver, but Short Marcus is catching these two ahead now. The championship leader looking to make some moves. RS up to P4 as well, but he has I think a 10-second time penalty, which he may get removed. Sometimes those ones do. So it could be a legitimate P4. Got to keep an eye on the top two as well. Only 1.3 seconds between them. Spelled Wrong and Slithery Cow, those two no strangers to fighting each other on track after Tier 2. But Spelled Wrong in control. Tyr and Jackalacco get two time penalties at the same corner, just one after the other at the back there. As that's Lifebout going very deep and into the gravel, and here comes Short Marcus now in the Red Bull. Lifebout really struggling without a setup in these slippery conditions, and here comes Short Marcus. He's using the ERS. He's trying to get a good speed down this straight. Here he comes down towards turn 1, or it's turn 2, isn't it? Because they count that little kink as turn 1. But no cigar for Short Marcus. Trugster finally bails into the pits. No idea what he was doing. Is he going on the softs? Is he? I think if he commits and goes to the softs, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that's exactly what he's done as well. Wow. Okay. Well, fair enough. I don't think it's worked personally, but fair enough. He's going to be down to last place, is Trugster, but he's committed. He's committed to the strategy he decided on. So fair enough to him. But now, Lifebout can't afford to make any more mistakes. He has that 3-second time penalty as well, but maybe he'll think he can get that removed. It could be one of those. So he's still got to fight for these positions. You can't take anything for granted either. Short Marcus could get a penalty. Robin could get a penalty at any point. So, but these top three in the championship, right next to each other, you couldn't ask for anything better. Well, you could ask for them being first, second and third, but it's a reverse grid championship, so we're going to have to settle for 6th, 7th and 8th, but Lifebout's wide again, and Short Marcus is going to take advantage this time. Round the outside he goes. Nothing Lifebout can do as he makes a mistake at the last corner. 2 laps in a row, and it was one mistake too many. He's down to P8. As we've got yellow flags, that's Moti Peretz as well, and that's going to get all 3 of them up another position, up to 5th, 6th and 7th now. Moti Peretz down to P8, but if he can stay within 3 seconds of Lifebout, he could actually spoiler effect, but I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's got the pace for that, and no, he's already out the range. So Lifebout now, I think all he's got to do is secure P7. I don't think with the setup issue he's got, he's going to be able to secure P to get ahead of 5th or 6th, especially with the time penalty. And Moti is actually catching back up, so he could lose another position to the Ferrari. But in even more exciting news, Spaled Wrong has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, track limits, and Slithery Cow is now in the hot seat to win this race. Prime position, just 1.5 seconds behind, and it's his race to lose, no mistakes. And he should win this race on penalties, should Slithery Cow, which would be a great race back for him. Ace versus Kings as well. He's doing fantastic in 3rd. He's 12 seconds behind the top 2, but he's not going to care. He's up there in 3rd place. It's been a calamitous race for many, many drivers out there. I mean, you can see that by the fact that all these 3, they've all spun or had some incident happen to them this race, and yet they're still 5th, 6th and 7th as Short Marcus pulls to the inside. But I don't think he really planned on making a move there, just letting Robinet know that he's there and ready and waiting. As Scott gets past Tier. I think Tier must have had a moment because Jacko got past him as well for P11. You've got to keep an eye on the constructors as well, because there's 1 point between Alpine and Alfa Romeo, and then another further 23, I think, to Alpha Tauri. So it's not too. It's very close. Obviously, only 1 Alfa Romeo today, which is a big help for Alpine and the likes of Spaled Wrong. But Spaled Wrong is pushing. He's up to 2.3 seconds from Slithery Cow now. Might have been a mistake from the McLaren driver, but he's doing great. Is the Alpine to try and pull those 3 seconds that he's gained from that time penalty. Short Marcus putting the pressure on Robinet. Lifebout's back in this as well. He's not out of it yet, but he's got no ERS in the tank on that Alfa Romeo. You can see on the steering wheel that yellow bar right on the left-hand side. So struggling for ERS is Lifebout, but he's finally gotten the hang of that last corner in these conditions, which is good for him. Trugster still braving out on those soft tyres. I don't know how he's doing it, but here comes Short Marcus now. ERS and Slipstream. He goes to the outside of the Alpha Tauri. Is Robinet going to fight him? Yes, he is. They're side by side still. A bit of contact, but Short Marcus is ahead and up to P5. And here comes Lifebout now on the Alpha Tauri. Lifebout on the inside, and he makes the move into Villeneuve up to P6. But of course that time penalty could cost him big time, as Moti Peretz has dropped well out of the 3-second range now, so I don't think he's going to challenge Lifebout after that 3 seconds. But Lifebout is certainly looking to challenge Short Marcus, and Robinet's not out of this yet. I don't think. He's still got much more ERS left than the other 2, and if these 2 start fighting, Robinet will be right there. The top 3 in the championship all together, as Robinet makes less of a meal out of that corner than Lifebout did, but Lifebout's still right behind this Red Bull. He's not going to let Short Marcus go without a fight, as the championship leader gets a better exit out of the chicane than the Alfa Romeo. Robinett has really dropped off now. He doesn't have the pace. He was just holding them, the two of them up, it seems, as Zetchik loses it, unfortunately, in the McLaren. Lifebout trying to get the best exit he can out the last corner, but it's in vain, I think, as we go on to lap 15 of 16. 2 laps to go in this race, and Short Marcus is looking like he's going to extend his championship lead by another couple of points in the Red Bull. Who has fastest lap? That's a good question. It's Short Marcus, so 3 points in fact. He would extend it by, as it stands, as long as Robinett stays within that 3 seconds. Well, 2 laps to go, but Robinett just doesn't seem to have the pace, so it's certainly not a foregone conclusion that Robinett stays within that 3 seconds. Far from it. So Lifebout's still got to keep pushing. He could just about manage to get out of that range of Robinett before the end, but he's got to be careful not to get another penalty, because that looked close to another warning. But I think it must have been a mistake from Slithery Cow that extended that gap, as Lifebout very deep, trying his absolute hardest to push and get out of that 3-second range of Robinett, but pushing a little bit too hard there is the Alfa Romeo as he heads through the chicane. We've got to keep an eye on that gap. We've got to keep an eye on this gap as well. Spaled Wrong and Slithery Cow are on the final lap of the race, and Slithery Cow is in prime position to win it from Spaled Wrong, who got that time penalty. He's going to be kicking himself for that. There was no need to get a warning, and or indeed a time penalty. He was leading by 1.5 seconds, and he was looking very comfortable. But Slithery Cow could profit off the mistake of the Alpine. We've also got Scott and the Toe battling into the penultimate corner. The Red Bull, there's the touch, and they're both round. They help each other get back in a straight line, but they've both lost the position to Giacalacco, who files his way through, but he's got a 3-second penalty on that AlphaTauri, so he will drop behind Scott anyway, as Lifebout gets another one, and that is going to be it in terms of him trying to get out of range of Robinett. Robinett should secure P6 now in that AlphaTauri. And Lifebout's going to lose another 3 points to his championship rival, but it's, I mean, with no setup and in changeable conditions, losing only 3 points to your championship rival, it's not a bad job at all. As Spaled Wrong and Slithery Cow, I think Spaled has let through the McLaren so he can win on track. Slithery Cow wins the Imola Grand Prix. Spaled Wrong in P2. Very sporting of him to let Slithery Cow win it on track. Aces versus Kings round the final corner. He's going to defend this position from RS, 21 seconds behind the top 2, but it doesn't matter. He wins. He gets himself a podium. RS in P4. He's going to drop with that 10-second penalty to P5 from Short Marcus. So if he doesn't get that removed, Short Marcus could gain another point, as RS is jumped by Robinett as well. I wonder if he will get that 10 seconds removed. We'll have to find out. Could be critical for the championship. That's another point to Short Marcus. With the championship this close, that could really end up mattering. But Lifebout comes home in P7. I think he'll be pleased with that in the end, considering the circumstances. Motor Perez in P8. Wolfman finishes P9. Scott P10 ahead of Jacko after his penalty. The Toe finishes P12. Tier comes across the line in 13th. DTS Ayrton, disappointment for him. He'll finish in 14th. Zetchik already finished after being lapped in 15th. And Trugster. I mean, Trugster wins the award for worst strategy of the year. I think. I don't know what on earth he was thinking. Yeah. I mean, he committed, so you can't take that away from him. He really committed to what he was doing. So fair enough, but yeah, that's definitely going to win worst strategy of the year so far. Short Marcus, driver of the day. I think that's deserved after the damage early on. Yeah, he got squeezed by 2 cars, apparently, and couldn't go anywhere and lost his front wing. But Lifebout, yeah, only losing, well, at the moment 4 points to your championship rival, with no setup in changeable conditions at Imola. That is not bad going at all. Let's hope indeed, Lifebout, let's hope. So, Slithery Cow wins the Imola Grand Prix from Spaled Wong, who sportingly let him through to win on track at the end when he knew he was going to lose it on penalties. Aces versus Kings finishes in P3, with Short Marcus coming home in P4 in the end. What a drive from him. Robin A in P5, decent one from him too. RS down there in 6th. Lifebout in 7th, but I think he won't be too unhappy with that in the end, considering the circumstances. PRL Moti Peretz finishes in P8, as Wolfman in 9th. Scott finishes 10th. Jackalacco finishes in P11 after the penalty. The Toe in P12, and then Tier and DTS Ayrton round out the lead lap finishes, and unfortunately Zetchik and Trugster finish a lap down, but I think Trugster yeah, I mean, I think I've said all I needed to say on Trugster today. But in other news, that will mean Alpine will extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship over Alfa Romeo, and Alpha Tauri have gained a few points on Alfa Romeo as well, thanks to Jackalacco's P11 finish. But Alpine very much in the driving seat for the Constructors. Yeah, Short Marker's an extra pit stop. He still finishes 4th. That is quite the drive, and he gets my driver of the race for that one, I think. And we're back in the lobby as Scott gets the grid ready for Singapore. I'm just going to go and refill my water because oof. These sprint races really take it out of you. Looks like we're about to get going again. Now then, a reverse grid race around Singapore. This is going to be very interesting indeed. Maybe Trugster's strategy was to just finish last so he'd start from pole in Singapore. It's not a bad strat, to be fair. So here we go. Oh, it's raining. Oh, it's raining. It is raining in Singapore for a reverse grid race. Oh, we're in for fireworks. We are in for fireworks. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, we are in for a heck of a race here in Singapore. The formation lap is going to be essential for the drivers to get a sense for what the track is feeling like. I don't know if it's going to be starting off in the inters and then getting worse as the race progresses. And everyone is on inters to start with, at least. Or maybe it will dry up, who knows. But two races with light rain at the very least. And here in Singapore as well. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to put it on position change because we know everyone's tyres. Everyone's on the inters. So Trugster leads us off 15 laps of Singapore. It's crazy how long this race is. It's going to be even longer in the wet. I think we could be here well over half an hour. Safety car is off around here, remember, so if you spin, you're not going to get a safety car to back you up. So, here we go. Heading around the final few corners now in Sector 3 on this formation lap. Trugster leads us off, followed by Zetchik, our newbie in the McLaren. Hopefully he can have a better race than last time. Disconnected halfway through. DTS Ayrton going a bit too far. Getting sent back a few meters. Lifebout with his usual grid positioning in that half his car is outside of the box. A lot of people going a bit too far, but here we go. Get ready for fireworks, everyone. It's a wet Singapore sprint race, reverse grid. 5 red lights, and we're underway for the Singapore Grand Prix. It's a great start from Trugster, terrible start for Zetchik behind, and Tier is up into the P1. Down the inside of Trugster he goes. Trugster hangs it round the outside and keeps the position. He leads through turns 1, 2 and 3, but Tier right behind him. He loves the wet conditions, does Tier, and DTS Ayrton just struggling on the exit as well. Short Marcus and Lifebout up to Short Marcus up to P6. How on earth has he managed that? P7 now, but he's fighting with Jackalacco. Lifebout's there too, but Short Marcus up 6 positions in 5 corners. Spelled Wrong has done the same thing. Jackalacco is going to hold it down the inside of Short Marcus, but Short Marcus all the way around the outside. What a result for the Red Bull. Down the inside he goes, and he could get another position on Zetchik here, but Lifebout nearly into the wall there. Just about keeps it out, as Jackalacco is not done yet, and neither is Lifebout. It's going to be 3 wide. No, it's not. Jackalacco backs out, but Lifebout down the inside now of the AlphaTauri as Zetchik goes very deep. That invites Short Marcus and Lifebouts clean through, as well as multiple others, as Short Marcus up 8 positions. It could be 9 at the hairpin. Down the inside he goes. Lifebout's there too. He's right behind. Lifebout not letting this go without a fight, and here he goes round the outside of the Alpine. Lifebout trying to stick with his rival, and does. Sweeps around the outside of DTS Ayrton, but Short Marcus up 9 positions. Lifebout up 5. Robinay up 2 as well. Spelled Wrong up 7. He's had a wonderful start as well. It's such a shame he had to miss last week. He would be well in this championship fight otherwise, but the American driver with a fantastic start to this race. As Lifebout, as Short Marcus loses 2 positions. It must have been a mistake from the Red Bull. Nearly loses position to the toe, but keeps it clean. But Lifebout is through up to P3. And how costly could that be for the championship leader? As Jackalacco and DTS Ayrton side by side through the final corner. Oh my word, how have they gotten through? But Jackalacco's still there. Spelled Wrong as well. Jackalacco down the inside. He tries to keep it there, but Spelled Wrong hangs it around the outside, nearly spins it on the sausage curb, nearly spins it on the exit, and Jackalacco's still there. He is fighting with every fibre of his being in that AlphaTauri. It's great to watch, and Lifebout's fighting Trugster as well. Round the outside goes the Alfa Romeo. Can he make it into P2 in just 1.5 laps? Yes, he can. Up 8 positions. A bit of a mistake from Trugster on the exit, and Lifebout up to P2. Tier leads the race by 1.7 seconds. A mistake from Lifebout on the exit just about keeps it out the wall. He's got to be careful. Has the Dutchman, but now Tier is in his sights, and Short Marcus has got Trugster in his sights. Has a look down the inside, but look how much time he's losing behind this Williams. 2 Lifebout already, just a few corners, and he's already over a second behind. He needs to make this move, and fast. He's going to hope to send it down the inside, and does exactly that, but Trugster holds his line. Expertly done from Trugster, good defence. And Short Marcus is going to have to try again at another point, but this is costing him crucial time. Womack's round in Sector 1, unfortunately, as Trugster holds on to this position. Lifebout already within a second of Tier, but such is the pace difference. I did say Lifebout was good at Singapore, and he's proving it right now, but a little bit of a mistake from him, it seems, just then, as Trugster catches up a bit, as well as Short Marcus, of course. He's looking to stay in touch. He wants to get past this Williams as soon as possible. He doesn't want to just let Lifebout run away with this, which could well happen. And of course, 25 points for a win. Lifebout could easily retake the championship lead. He sets the fastest lap. He's right behind this Aston Martin of Tier, who's going to be looking for a race win, but he's going to have a very hard time getting it. Trugster holding on to P3 as well for now from Short Marcus, but for how long, I wonder. We've got to keep an eye on Lifebout. Here he comes now through this right-hander. Tier very deep on entry, and Lifebout could have an opportunity here. He's going to try it, but no. Tyr gets the better exit in the end, and Lifebout must have messed something up. Here comes Short Marcus down the inside of Trugster. He's going to send it down the inside, and he's made the move work, but he's forced Trugster off. I don't know how happy Trugster will be about that, but Short Marcus absolutely sent it. Couldn't get it stopped in time to leave Trugster room, and he's gone very deep on the entry to that left-hander and lost some more time to Lifebout, but crucially he's ahead of Trugster, and that is really, really important at this point in the race. Another mistake from Tyr, another mistake from Tyr, but Lifebout, there's no way past, and this is just going to invite Short Marcus to gain a bunch of time, and he does indeed. He's right behind already, as Lifebout is still stuck behind this Aston Martin, who's defending for his life. Tyr can smell a race win here, but I mean, he's got to keep the top two in the championship behind him for 13 laps. Even at Singapore in the wet, that is no small feat. As he goes deep, Lifebout forces him deep after looking for a move, and he's round the outside. Clever stuff from Lifebout. Short Marcus has found his way through as well, and Tyr down to third place. But I'm sure he would absolutely take a podium if he can keep it together. But Trugster's right behind, and he's going to be looking for that position as well. As I think those top two are now going to streak clear of the rest. Spaled Wrong as well. He's up 10 positions this race. Short Marcus up 11. It sets the fastest lap as well. Spaled Wrong takes it away though. 2.2 seconds behind Trugster. Could Spaled Wrong find his way on the podium as well? Trugster has a 3-second time penalty now for multiple warnings as Tyr goes very deep through turn 3. But no way through for Trugster, of course. If Tyr can get this corner right, which he does just about, he gets it, well, right enough anyway to keep the Williams behind. But Spaled Wrong now already within a second. The Toe is P6 as well. He's not doing too badly either in the other Red Bull. DTS Ayrton right behind, a 3-car train here. Jack Alaco is doing fantastically in that AlphaTauri. Yes, he's lost 2 positions, but I mean, considering Lifebout and Short Marcus are P1 and 2 after starting at the back, I think losing 2 positions is what you'd expect. So Jack Alaco not done too badly at all as Spaled Wrong gets past Trugster, who must have made a mistake. The Alpine up to P4, and Tyr is his next target. Spaled Wrong looking to get himself on the podium. What a drive this is turning out to be from the American, but Tyr, it defends to the inside. Spaled Wrong wasn't expecting it, and well, it's a good defense from Tyr in the end, because Spaled was looking for that move, but Tyr covered him off, so well anticipated from the Aston Martin driver. That's Aces versus Kings round, as well as Slithery Cow, both into the wall, and I wonder if there was contact between the two. Moti Perret's looking to go around the outside of the McLaren as well, but not realising he has no wing as Spaled Wrong gets past Tyr at an unconventional area of the track. But look at the gap to the top two, 6 seconds near enough between them and Spaled Wrong. Short Marcus sets the fastest lap just after Lifebout, so these two are going to be battling to the end, I think, unless there comes a mistake from one of them. And I have to say, in terms of who's more likely to make a mistake, it's this man in the Alfa Romeo, unfortunately. Based on experience, what I've seen from him in the past in ESRL, he is more likely to make a mistake, but it's Singapore, it's one of his favourite tracks. He's keeping Short Marcus at bay for now. All he has to do is stay where he is and not let that Red Bull through. Womack's getting lapped there on lap 5. It's not been a good race for the Bulgarian. Lifebout has a bit of a twitch there. Out of, I think that's turn 8, I want to say. I'm not sure. I don't remember all the numbers. Trugster right behind Tyr. They've both got 3-second penalties now, so the Toe could be in with a shout for a top 5 finish here in a wet Singapore. Not be a bad result for him at all, as DTS Ayrton and Jack Alaco have a bit of a scrap. Looks like Jack Alaco got through, but I'm not sure how legal it was, as someone's binned it. That's Wolfman further back, unfortunately, and I think Tyr binned it as well. Yes, he did, and no, he's not. He's still under pressure from Trugster. They continue to go side by side, as they file through, and the toe has lost it. Oh no, I was singing his praises. He's down to P11 now, and DTS Ayrton under huge pressure from the other AlphaTauri now, the Frenchman of Robinet, who's looking to complete this move. That's Womack's getting lapped there, as Robinet looks to the inside. What a move this would be from the Frenchman if he can pull it off, but he sensibly backs out of it, as Short Marcus has now dropped off Lifebout, who seems to be getting used to the track, but Spaled Wrong responds with another fastest lap. He is flying in that Alpine at the moment, is the American. Brilliant stuff from him. He's up to P3, and he's trying to chase down those leaders, and if he can get in front of Short Marcus, Lifebout, I'm sure, would very much appreciate that. But, well, Short Marcus gained 4 points on Lifebout in the last race. So the gap between them will be 6 points before this one. So if Lifebout wins and Short Marcus finishes second, then the gap will be 1 point at the halfway stage, which would be absolutely fantastic to see. Trugster here in P5 though. Still trying to get past this Aston Martin of Tier. These two have battled all race long so far. Hopefully it continues. Scott as well, just behind Zetchik, the newbie. Aces versus Kings, and Motorbrett Aces misses the wall by a hair's width. Unbelievable he got that, how he managed to get that stopped in the Mercedes, and he's up to P12. Great move from the British driver as Trugster and Tier. Now Tier, a mistake out the hairpin, and Trugster is through, and Jacko Lacko, look who is within range of those 3 seconds in the AlphaTauri, the Scottish driver. 2.5 seconds to those two. He could find himself in P4 here, which would be an amazing result for him. Robinet's up to P8 as well, as Short Marcus has passed Lifebout. Lifebout's in the pits. Okay, so Lifebout doesn't think the Inters can make it all the way. Okay, I thought that was a mistake from Lifebout. Maybe he's broken his front wing though. Surely the Inters can make it all the way. He must have had damage. No damage. He's on the mediums. He's on the mediums. He thinks it's dry. He thinks it's going to slicks. He's in early. Tier is also in early. It's another changeable race, 2 in 1 night. What are the odds of that? Lifebout, P6, he exits, but he's on the medium tyres. Can he get them up to temperature and in the usable window? If he can, he could run away with this race right now. And when DRS gets enabled as well, it's crucial for him to be outside of that 1 second range, so Short Marcus can't challenge him down this very straight right here. And Lifebout, well, it could be an inspired decision. He's getting those tyres warmed up. He's trying to get them into the usable window. I think he's doing a fairly good job of it. You can still see raindrops on your screen, but it does look dry out there, I have to say, and Lifebout looks fairly comfortable on those mediums. He's catching DTS Ayrton. I'm going to switch to tyre. There we go. A lot of people onto the slicks. Almost everyone except those top 5 right now on the Inters, who are still on the Inters. Short Marcus and Spaled Wrong, the main two who've stayed on the Inters. Lifebout right behind DTS Ayrton. DRS now enabled just in time for Lifebout down this straight, but he's not going to get past DTS Ayrton at this point. But I think those Inters are going to really be struggling. Now, the track looks dry, I have to say. It looks bone dry as Lifebout tries to go for a send. That would really be good if he pulled that off. But here he goes down the inside now of DTS Ayrton. Can he pull it off? Yes, he can. Down the inside, great move from the Dutchman. He's up to P5. Great stuff. Jackalacco into the pits. Short Marcus, everyone in the pits. Trugster, I mean, he's made the right decision this time. He's not stayed on the Inters. I mean, that really would be funny if he did it again. But DTS Ayrton in the pits as well. He's slowed down for the wrong pit entry line. But there goes Lifebout round the outside of Short Marcus, and Short Marcus's tyres will still be cold at this point. He's just come out the pit lane, so Lifebout, this is his opportunity to pull a gap and make sure Short Marcus has no way of getting past the championship leader, weaving down the straight to get those tyres up to temperature. It looks like he might have gotten them up to temperature already. 1.2 seconds is the gap. Can Short Marcus close this down? 1.4 now, so about 1.5 seconds. And Short Marcus has got to push. Lifebout loves this track. He's not going to give this up easily at all. And Short Marcus has no ERS either. And Lifebout still has about half of his battery left. So Short Marcus on the back foot here. Spaled Wrong has kept P3 despite staying out an extra lap by, I mean, quite some margin over Trugster, who's gotten himself another 3-second time penalty. He's up to 6 now. Jackalacco is sitting there in P5 looking for 4th position. What a result that would be. And at the moment, he's in position to get it. Trugster with 6 seconds worth of penalties on that Williams. Jackalacco doing very well at the moment in that AlphaTauri. Meanwhile, Aces vs Kings has put on the soft tyres along with Duteau and Tier as well, who must have crashed because he came out on the mediums before and he's pitted again. What a shame that is for Tier. As soon as it turns dry again, he's back to the back of the grid. That's really unfortunate. But Ace is on those softs. He's going to be mighty fast for a few laps. But after, when it gets to around lap 12 or 13, those softs are going to start to complain on that car, and he's going to struggle to keep up his pace. So I'm not sure if softs was the right call, but Aces will be looking to prove me wrong, as he's got his teammate Scott ahead as well, who's in P6. I don't want to curse him, because he's been in these sorts of heights before this season, and it's not ended well. So keep it up, Scott. Don't bin it. Robinett gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and he's using the ERS now to try and get past this Mercedes, but Scott's got too much straight line speed for him. Has he though? Because Robinett sends it round the outside on the brakes. What a brilliant move from the Frenchman. Just outbraked Scott by quite some distance, and he's up to P6. And looking to secure quite a good haul of points for AlphaTauri here, along with Jackalacco in this Constructors battle. VTS Ayrton, though, he's sitting quite well in P9 at the moment, and of course his teammate up in 3rd place. Alpine looking very strong for this Constructors title so far this season. But AlphaTauri do not want to be outdone. Don't want to let this go. Lifebout sets the fastest lap, but Short Marcus sets it right behind him, and he's in DRS range as the Red Bull. He's used so much ERS to get there, but he is in that range. Can he stay in that range? The detection points here. Lifebout's in the wall. Lifebout has binned it into the wall. He's got no front wing. He has bottled it. The Dutchman, he's going to have to pit. Oh no, Lifebout. Just trying to get too good an exit to keep Short Marcus out of DRS, and he's thrown it all away. No front wing on that Alfa Romeo. He's going to have to pit, and he's going to drop all the way behind Jackalacco down to P5. It's all but, well, it's certainly not over for Lifebout. I mean, he's still going to collect a decent haul of points for finishing wherever he does. He won't drop all the way to the back, that's for sure, but oh dear, what could have been. He's tagged the wall as well on entry, and Lifebout. Dear, oh dear. He's going to be heading to the pits for a front wing change and some soft tyres. And he's going to be absolutely gutted. We could have had a 1-point difference between the top two, and it's going to be a lot more than that now. No, Jackalacco's retired! Oh no! Jackalacco on the exit of the hairpin, he's binned it, and he could have had a podium. He doesn't know that Lifebout had no front wing. He may have taken it a bit more carefully if he'd known, because he would have been on the podium, and Lifebout gets a 5-second penalty as well for speeding just to rub it in. Where's he going to come out though? That's the question. I mean, obviously behind Spaled Wrong and behind Trugster, but I think he's safe from Aces at least. Who's, by the way, gotten past Robinett, so keep an eye on that battle, because Robinett's going to be better on the mediums come the end of the race, but Lifebout straps on a set of the softs. Aces coming around the final corner though. Robinett gets himself another time penalty. I think that's him up to 6. It is indeed. So he's going to struggle now to finish in that top 5. Where's Lifebout? He's behind them. He's behind them. That's so crucial. And he's going to have to get past them now as well. He's down to 6th place. He's got a 3-second penalty as well. He's warming up the tyres. Don't take out Scott again. You did that last week, Lifebout. But I think he'll be okay. But Scott, he's pushing here. He's not going to let this go. He's not going to just let Lifebout get away with this. But the ERS wasn't quite enough, and Scott has to stick behind. But he could stay within that 3 seconds of the Alfa Romeo and steal the position at the end. Who knows? If Lifebout gets held up by Aces and Robinett just up ahead of him. There's Slithery Cow and Moti Perret side by side. Look at this for P9. Slithery Cow down the inside. There's contact between them. Just too close to the wall for Slithery Cow and Moti. I don't think that's on Moti. Unfortunately for Slithery Cow. Who's that that's just spun? I think that was the toe further back. But Moti, now he's definitely got damage. I saw some debris come off his car. So Slithery Cow will take that position. But I don't think Moti Perret will be too happy about how that transpired. And the race winner in Imola. Down in P10, it's going to be P9 pretty soon. I apologise for the dog. As he sends it down the inside. He knew Moti had damage. And up to P9 he goes. But yeah, Moti could be complaining about that one after the race. His Lifebout now just behind Robinett. He's looking to get this move done because he wants the fastest lap point as well. He knows how crucial it's going to be. He's going to lose at least, well, a whole host of points to short Marcus today. Not how he wanted this day to go at all. But ERS deployed, and I mean, he breezes past. That was like Verstappen against Leclerc and Magnussen in Miami. I mean, didn't even have to try, just breezed straight past. He's up to P5, but he does have 8 seconds worth of penalties. No, only 5. Oh, okay, I thought he had a track limits penalty as well. Okay, so 5 seconds for Lifebout. So he's got to keep pushing. He's got to salvage as many points as he can. Short Marcus is going to get the full 25, but Lifebout, here he goes to the hairpin. He'll try and make this move on Aces as soon as he can. You can see the flashing red light. Here he goes to the outside. Aces is going to hold it to the inside though and puts Lifebout in the wall. Was there damage to the Alfa Romeo? I wonder. There may well have been. I didn't see any debris, but Aces is now round, and there may have been contact between the two twice there in succession. Aces down to P7. Scott is now up to P6. It could be P5 or even P4 as Lifebout gets himself another time penalty. He's up to 8 seconds of penalties in that Alfa Romeo. Scott could find himself in P4 here. What a result that would be for him. Trunkster's going to get himself another podium if he keeps it together, which would be a fantastic result for him as well after his win in Brazil last week. Not Brazil, in Belgium last week. Spectacular win that was. Held Lifebout off for so long, but Scott's got in himself a 3-second time penalty now. Oh no, everyone's bottling it one after the other. Although Robinett still has 6 seconds, Lifebout has 8, so it's not quite over yet. Insert Leclerc. No! Yeah, Jack. Oh, you could have had a podium. You were on track for a podium. Oh. Such a shame as Zetchik has lost it at the last corner. Aces getting past Scott, who must have had a mistake as well. And yeah, I need to stop singing Scott's praises. As he drops another couple of positions, and it's going to be, yeah, it is going to be a couple of positions. He could lose the place to DTS Ayrton in the end as well. But he could have been in P5 at least. After penalties were applied. So an unfortunate mistake for the Mercedes driver as he nearly puts it in the wall there at that right-hander. TTSF looking to get past. Pretty much the only battle on track at the moment, other than these two, RS and Moti Peretz for P10. But everything's calmed down a bit now. Slithery Cow with a 3-second time penalty, which could be interesting to Moti Peretz. Although I don't think the Ferrari is going to have the pace to take advantage. But I'll keep an eye out. TTS Ayrton looking for a P7 finish here, which would be huge for Alpine. And just as I was talking about AlphaTauri getting a massive result in the Constructors, Jack Alacco bins it. And Slithery Cow gets another 3-second time penalty, 2 in 1 lap. And a 5-second penalty in the pit lane. Yeah, that's a pit lane retirement. He is not happy in that McLaren. And, well, Moti up to P9, RS up to P10. But, yeah, not the best day out for Slithery Cow here in Singapore after his race win in Imola. It's not gone according to plan here in Southeast Asia. RS just behind Moti Peretz, and he's going to go for it down the inside. Can he make the move? Not quite. But he's going to look for that move whenever he can. But Short Marcus starts the final lap of the race. After Lifebout's crash, he has controlled this race very, very easily. No one anywhere near him. Who's got fastest lap? Short Marcus. Lifebout couldn't even take it on the soft because he had to get past people, and he lost time doing that. It's only by less than a tenth, but it's enough. As this battle continues to rage on, and the Toe and Zetchik right behind with each other as well. The McLaren on fresh soft tyres, looking to make his way past the Red Bull, who has got himself a penalty as well. RS still looking for this move on Moti. He's got one more lap to do it as Aces is round. Not for the first time this evening. At turn 3 this time. And he's down to P8. And that promotes Scott to P6. Maybe P7 after penalties. Lifebout gets himself another 3-second time penalty, but I don't think it will change his final position. But we've got a cut to Short Marcus, who comes around the final sector. The last few corners for the Red Bull. Spaled Wong gets himself a time penalty as well. Not that it matters, but Short Marcus round the final corner. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix and extends his championship lead by quite some distance. The defending champ looking to make it 2 sprint championships on the bounce after Lifebout's bottle halfway through. Spaled Wong comes home to finish a brilliant P2. Again, it's such a shame that he couldn't make it last week, because he'd be well in this title battle if not. Trugster is going to come home to finish a very, very respectable 3rd place indeed. Great stuff from him in the Williams. Lifebout is going to finish a very, very disappointing P4. Is he going to finish ahead of Robinett? I think he will. I think Robinett has too many penalties. Yeah, he does indeed. So Lifebout P4, Robinett P5. Oh my goodness me, and Aston Martin just taking themselves out on Lifebout's AI car there. Scott round the final corner. He finishes in P7 after his penalty. Aces will finish in 8th. Moti Peretz will come home in 9th. Zetchik really massively dropped off. Oh no, the Toe massively dropped off Zetchik, so it must have been a mistake from the Red Bull. But they both finished. Moti Peretz in P9 and RS last across the line in P10. Terrible race. It looked it, Slithery Cow. It did look it. Short Marcus is delighted, and rightly so. But Lifebout is going to be absolutely gutted. That is, I mean, nothing short of a bottle. I have to say, unfortunately for the Dutchman. But that's the way it goes. Marcus, the king of Singapore today. But Spale Long will be very happy with P2. The second, well, 2 second-place finishes today. And what might have been if he had been able to make it last week. So the cow got blocked loads and nobody wanted to just concede a place. Sounds like a frustrating race for you, I'm afraid to say. But Short Marcus takes the race win in Singapore and the fastest lap point as well, just to add insult to injury to Lifebout. Spale Wong finishes P2 again today. What a fantastic result for him today. I think he scored the most points of anyone today. 2 second place finishes. Maybe 40 points to him. Short Marcus finished, what was it, 4th and 1st? So 16 and 25, that's 41. Oh no, and 2 fastest laps. No. Yeah, 41, 43. So Marcus still scoring the most points today, but Spale Wong not far behind. And I think he was the most consistent today. Trugster in P3. What a fantastic result for him. Another podium for Trugster. He is on fire at the moment this season. Lifebout, very disappointed in P4. Robin A finishes a very solid P5. Somehow 53, 50... okay, Codemasters. Apparently Lifebout got another... They got 16 seconds of penalties, which doesn't ring true. So I think that's just a bug. DTS Ayrton finishes P6, again a solid result for the Greek driver, and Scott will be happy with 7th as well. Aces versus Kings in 8th. Moti Peretz and RS round out the top 10, and then Wolfman, Zetchik, The Toe, Tier and Wumax all finishing a lap down. Slithery Cow and I think the most unfortunate DNF of the day, Jackalacco. Neither of whom able to finish. Jack, if you'd gotten a podium, I'd have given you driver of the race. But as it is... Oof. I mean... To be honest... I'm going to give it to... Look, Short Marcus, he's won the race from 13th on the grid with fastest lap. Incredible performance from him. But I think Spale Wong, given that, I mean, look at that best lap, 40.5. I mean, given that Short Marcus's best lap is well over 2 seconds faster than the rest of the field, I think Spale Wong, what a start he had as well. He's done really well to finish P2, and he's finished P2 twice today. I think Spale Wong gets driver of the race, and I think driver of the day overall as well. So, that's my verdict on that. But what an ending to the Singapore Grand Prix. It seems Marcus is a lot happier with the driving standards than Slithery Cow was, but yeah, he's had a blinder of a night, and he now leads the title, well, by, it would have been 6 points going into that race. Lifebout finished 4th, so Marcus will have 25, 26, and Lifebout will have 16, so the gap will be 16 points between the top two with 3 weeks to go. Obviously it's sprints, there's still 6 races to go, anything can happen, but the defending champ will be feeling quite comfortable after today's events. But anyway, well done to everyone today. Yeah, I'm gutted you missed last week as well, Spale. I was saying throughout the race, if you'd been there last week, you would be in this title fight 100%. You have been fantastic so far this sprint championship. Yeah, such a shame that is. But keep pushing, you never know. And Alpine looking very strong in the constructors. So if you can't get the drivers, constructors is very much you guys is to lose right now, you and DTS Ayrton. So keep it up. But anyway, yeah, absolutely right. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already. Helps me out. Helps out ESRL as well. And hope you've all enjoyed today's stream. I certainly have. And have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll see you next week for more ESRL sprints. Goodbye everyone, have a good night.